other signs that I did the readings for late. I apologize for the delay, and I am sincerely a family emergency this past weekend. And the weekends are normally when I start doing these recordings. And so I apologize. There was just no way, as emotionally charged as the situation was, I just couldn't focus in order to do the reading for you. And actually, the person that was involved was also a Libra. So I apologize, okay? And there are just some things that I want to mention here because I feel like it pertains to the situation. But I'm not going to go into details. I'm just going to see how it relates to your energy. And these are the few things that you want to be mindful about coming into this month, okay? So the energy for the month is heavily about finances and about values. It also deals with values. So let's just talk about this because this is what I'm feeling here. In your first house, where you felt very powerless, okay? It's almost as if you wanted to speak out, you wanted to take charge, you wanted to take some actions in order to rectify a situation or to explain yourself. You wanted to do something, but I feel like for whatever situation that you were in, the environment was restrictive. It didn't allow you to act the way that you wanted to. And so I just want to say that a lot of the times, you are a very, very diplomatic sign, and you see both points of view, and you're very good at conflict mediation because you're able to see both sides of the story. You're able to see merits from both parties. And so you would be a very good negotiator. You would be a very good conflict mediator because of that, because you're straddling, you're walking the line, you're walking in between. So you're never erring so much to the right or to the left. And a lot of the times too, and I mentioned this for you guys in previous readings, sometimes inaction is as bad as making the wrong choice. And I feel that energy coming through for this month. And we want to be cognizant of that fact because I feel like there was a really, really tenuous situation where you should have spoken out, where you should have held on to your truth, where you should have done something and you feel like the environment didn't allow you to do it. So I feel like this was something you've been wanting to speak out about for quite some time, but for whatever reason, maybe it's the external constraints, maybe the constraints are internal. I feel like you didn't speak out when you were called upon, okay? So I feel like that's the case here, and there was a situation that you felt you should have stood up for somebody, or you felt like and I feel like, some karmic lessons needed to be learned. So you're going through a major growth spurt. You're dealing with, thinking about actions and consequences. And I feel like there is going to be a major behavioral change coming through for this month as a result of something that happened last month. It could also be in the time of Sagittarius here. The second house deals with finances, and it also deals with your value system. When it comes to finances, I feel that you want to be a little bit careful about where you are spending your money, okay? So if it's on more for like fun, pleasure, entertainment, and I feel like it provides you that feel good type of a picker-upper, then you want to also be careful that you're not, wasting money. This is a card about overindulgence. This is a card about, all that shimmers is not gold, like all that glitters is not gold. And this is a card about just emotional spending. Spending on things that make us feel good. By all means, if you are creating your own money, if you're managing your own wealth, this is all fine. But I feel like spending needs to be curbed back just a little bit, okay? So don't spend to excess. But overall, it's a very good card that indicates you have a lot of financial abundance coming your way. There's a lot of, I'm seeing like contracts being signed, agreements being finalized, as well as you feeling very, very good about your financial standing at this moment, okay? So I feel like you're coming into a lot of financial abundance and a lot of just hopeful energy. As it pertains to your values, this is a card about overindulgence. So just make sure that we are in alignment here with, our soul's purpose, our purpose of being here. And we understand that, money's a means to an end, not an end in itself. So I do see that while money is flowing in abundantly, your lifestyle might be catching up with your spending as well. So just be a little bit careful about that, okay? Aim for that middle ground. Aim for that middle ground. I told Sagittarius, aim for the high road, but I feel like for you, moderation, that middle ground is going to be key, all right? In terms of your communication and your siblings in the third house, we have here the Five of Wands. And the Five of Wands is a situation where there might be a little bit of a conflict of interest, conflict of ego, power struggle as well, as it relates to people who you consider siblings. For those of you who are only child, I feel like it might pertain to step siblings as well. So there's something where I feel like you are working at cross purposes with each other and you're not seeing eye to eye. And I do sense that siblings, they might be very rambunctious, they might be very opinionated, and I feel almost as if they're urging you to be the same way, to really stand up for the things that you believe in, as well as really stand up for your own truth and defend your own truth. So there's a little bit of conflict and clashes coming through in the sibling front, on the sibling front. As it relates to your communication, the same messages apply. And so the way that you are communicating for this month, if you have been very, very conflict avoidant, you didn't want to, ruffle anybody's feathers, you might not have stood up for the truth in the face of opposition. I feel almost as if it's coming back in where you have to deal with it, okay? So I feel almost like the people in your environment and the people that you are communicating with, they're going to they're going to demand like, concise answers. They're going to demand like a definitive, they're going to want a definitive answer from you. And I feel like you might not want to cause any trouble. You might not want to, step on anybody's toes. And so as a result of it, I feel like this is a situation, if it's something that you feel you have been dealing with perpetually, I do feel like it might even be like a karmic lesson, okay? And so the way you handle this energy is going to be very, very important. Clear it up, say your piece, as well as stand up for the things that you really believe in. Because we don't need other people to agree with us. We can agree to disagree. However, standing up for the things that you believe in really, it's a sign of strength of character. It's also a sign of moral integrity. So I feel like that's what's coming through here, and that's being challenged either through the sibling front or through the communication front as it relates to other people, okay? The people you were just communicating with on a regular basis. And I feel like a lot of it has to do with family, and a lot of it has to do with just siblings, all right? Your fourth house deals with your mother as well as your family life, okay? So the family that you grew up in or the family that you are hoping to create for yourself. This is the card when it pertains to like a mother figure. We have somebody who is emotionally underdeveloped, okay? So she might have had to take care of a lot of responsibilities. She might have like had to go out into the world at a very young age. And I feel like, she was on survival mode. And as a result of it, I feel like she might have just stopped emotionally growing. I feel like there was a lot of emotional, like, there were a lot of responsibilities imposed upon her. So I feel like she had to grow up too fast. And a lot of the times, too, when people grow up too fast, they tend to make up for their youth in the present moment. So that means they might behave in a way that is considered a little bit more reckless of an adult. And they might behave in a way where they are, I want to say like attention seeking. They might have been a little bit, just a little bit irresponsible in the manner in which they are supposed to behave right now. So biologically, they might be older, but emotionally, I do feel that they are not operating at their biological age emotionally. So that's a source of contention coming through. Others of you might have a mother figure that is, a water sign. So this is a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And I'm sensing for some time for this month, I feel like you're starting to see this situation in like in hindsight, and I feel like you're removing those, rose-colored glasses and looking at this situation realistically, and you might realize that, she might be emotionally like underdeveloped. Okay. What I'm also feeling as well, this is a card of somebody that is generally like very agreeable, but deep down, I feel like even if they don't agree, they will just agree with you because they don't want confrontation and they don't want conflict. And I feel like you might have a mother figure that is like this, like conflict avoidant. And I'm sensing that, so some personality traits being passed down here that might not be good for you. And this is something that you might want to confront with sometime for this month, okay? What I'm also feeling as well is they're saying like a very, very loving mother, but the way that she shows her love and affection might not be the way that you expect to receive love and affection. So there's a little bit of a discord between, how you both show that you care about each other or how you both show that you love one another. For others of you in the home environment that you are creating for yourself, the same energy applies. You might be living with a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. The way that you show love is not the same way that they show love. I feel like they need a lot more attention from you. They need a lot more feedback from you, and they need a lot more affirmation, confirmation, validation from you. And being an air sign, you tend to be a little bit more emotionally detached. And I feel like this person is needing more of that sense of connectedness. They're needing more love, they're needing more compliments and validation, okay? So just something to keep in mind about if you're living with another person that happens to be a water sign. This can also be in your family environment. One of the ways, if you are encountering conflict within the family unit, I just want you to understand that, the conflict is coming through because one person is not feeling validated, is not feeling loved. And so with that insight in mind, it would be really helpful for you to repair the relationship by, providing that emotional support, providing that sympathy, that empathy, so that the other person understands that you know what they're going through, and so that they feel validated. Okay, so I feel like that's the main source of conflict. It's like one person feels a little bit neglected, kind of left out on the cold. So they're not like I'm almost thinking like attention seeking. They're doing something that is that pertains to attention seeking in order to get you to focus on them. And that might be where the source of conflict is coming from because they're feeling a little bit neglected, okay? The family environment, I feel that it needs some fixing here. And I'm seeing a lot of young children, and I'm seeing a lot of I'm seeing a lot of young children seeking attention because both of these cards indicate very, very young energy, working at cross purposes with one another, not knowing one another's intentions and motives, and not being able to communicate in a way that is meaningful and that is conducive for conflict resolution. So I feel in your home environment, this might be the situation that you're dealing with, okay? I'm seeing water issues for some of you within the home, leaking pipes, garbage disposal unit leaking. I'm seeing like dripping faucets and things like that. These are minor things, but they do, cause like little irritations here and there. So if you can get a plumber in to try to fix these issues, I feel like it's like do it in one fell swoop. So for example, you might have a leaky faucet, right? You call a plumber, and then you might realize that, oh, the garbage disposal is actually broken today as well. So I feel like some water issue, some water damage, or some leaking orifices. So it seems like ceilings, roofs, piping, or something like that pertaining to water. All right. In terms of your fifth house, the fifth house deals with creativity. It deals with, dating. It deals with children. There's going to be a lot of joy, contentment as well. and a lot of assistance coming through from children for those of you who are in the parental role, okay? What I'm also feeling as well is when it relates to fun and dating, this is a really, really positive card for those of you who are single and dating, because it basically means new love coming into the picture, new crushes, new apple of your eye, that whole concept of like meeting somebody new that really blows you away. And I feel like you might be socially dating right now and you're coming across this person and you want to take the relationship to the next level. And then for others of you, I feel like you are attracting brand new people into your life who can be very therapeutic, very healing for you. So you're encountering the big love, the great love, and you're encountering somebody that is really generous, very loving, and they're restoring your faith in people, in love, in relationships. Okay, so a very positive card overall. Um, I'm sensing some of you are in the healing profession. Okay. I'm seeing a lot of scientists. I'm seeing a lot of doctors and nurses and people in the healing profession, even mental health specialists, even dentists. I'm also feeling like for some of you, you might be in a healing profession, like even holistic health, and you're doing something, like in that manner in order to generate money as well. So it's considered like a creative field. A lot of you are in the arts, and a lot of you are going to be able to attract a huge following, mainly because you're very good at your craft, okay? So I do see like a lot of creative outlets that are coming into the picture for this month, mainly because you might feel that you need it as an outlet for your frustration. And I'm also sensing like therapists being brought into the picture. This card basically means that a lot of you have some type of a creative talent, singing, drawing, um, you know, website design, for example. I'm seeing a lot of art. I'm seeing a lot of singing, musical skills, new musical like instruments being played, things like that, where you are devoting a lot of your time learning a creative skill, okay? Picking up a creative skill, learning something that is considered creative. So arts and crafts, or even like performing art, visual arts. So it's very, very positive. And I feel like it's going to provide a very good outlet for you. And it's also going to allow you as well to meet somebody new for those who are looking for love, okay? So this is a really, really good dating card overall. Your sixth house deals with your daily routine, it deals with your health, and it deals with your work. We have here the Ten of Pentacles, which basically, when it comes to work, there's a lot of financial abundance floating around in your work environment. So if you have shied away from negotiating for a higher salary, they're telling you that it is advisable for you to do it this year. First of all, the sun is in the constellation of Aquarius, which is a fellow air sign, which means that it's making a very positive trine to your sun. And so it's really good for you. You will be very well received, and it's also, propping you up. So whatever negotiations you want when it comes to salary increases, or even, getting into that higher position, you have strong support, and they highly recommend that you go for it, okay? So if you came in like this in January, where you felt like I should have said something, now's your chance. And I feel that it's going to be really good for you. Some of you are operating like some type of a home-based business. So you might be working alongside family members. And then others of you, you might be like a domestic worker, or you might be working domestically within your household environment. So that means the caretaker in the family, like a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home dad, and that's considered your work. And then others, you might be in a domestic setting where you are either a domestic worker, a housekeeper, or a babysitter, and you're generating money and wealth that way. I'm sensing a lot of tutors, like people coming to a student's house and providing tutoring for them. And I feel like some of you might have tutors as well coming into your house. So this is a very good card that basically means people are working together to build up things that are long lasting, sustainable, and practical. So good card, very, very good card. And in terms of your work overall, everyone is working harmoniously together and they see the value, and one person depends on another person. So I feel like there's a lot of harmony within your work environment. And I feel some of you are working with family, or some of you are creating like some type of home-based business as well. In terms of your relationship, what we have here is the Five of Pentacles. And the Five of Pentacles basically indicates like, it's interesting. For those of you in a relationship, I'm almost sensing like you have a very, very karmic bond with the other person. And there are many important lessons that need to be learned in this union in order to move the union along, in order to make things work, in order to like harmonize the relationship. There might have been a lot of financial difficulties, literally like in the past, as it relates to sharing assets with another person, or being in a romantic partnership or a business partnership with another person. And I feel like you are coming out of this and you're moving on towards, more prosperous time, because I feel like, the money house and the work house is highly lit up. So you might have encountered some financial difficulties because of responsibilities with children, even home repairs is what I'm sensing. And one person or both parties might have landed new work and the finances are flowing in abundantly. And so you both are overcoming these things. And I also feel as if one person might be very, very frivolous with spending and the other person is not aware of it, okay? Like I'm seeing somebody possibly being a shopaholic, somebody investing money in buying things that might not be practical. And so there's a little bit of conflict of interest, values differences between you and a partner that is creating a little bit of strife within your relationship. So this is something you're going to have to work on and work out with a partner, especially a romantic partner, because I'm sensing some imbalances here. And I'm feeling almost as if one person is hiding their receipts, like they're keeping their um, shopping issues under wraps because they don't want the other person to judge them. So that's what I feel is happening in this environment. Your eighth house deals with, this is sex, death, rebirth, regeneration. So let me just talk about this. This is a card about spiritual insights. This is a card about lessons learned, wisdom, higher calling. Okay, when the Hermit is in the reverse position, they're kind of telling you to really examine your relationship and to, if there are minor troubles here and there, you might think that like, oh, it's just trouble in paradise. But I do feel that it's going to be, it might escalate into something a little bit bigger further down the line. So you want to be careful about, don't I want to say, don't sweep things under the rug. If there are issues within the relationship, you want to, tackle them head first and like nip them in the bud early on so that they don't escalate and become, overwhelming down the line, okay? And I feel like this is something you've been noticing for quite some time, Libras, and it's really important that you address them and address them now. And so in terms of your eighth house, the eighth house deals with joint finances as well. And we have the Hermit here, and this is kind of like turning a blind eye to somebody's spending habits. And I feel like one person might be quite extravagant, and then the other person might be very, very accommodating, and they enable that type of a behavior. So one person is very extravagant, the other person is not willing to speak up against it. So there is an enabling type of behavior. And I feel like if you are financially linked in with them, it is within your right to speak up and figure out where the money is going. Why are we short every month, even though we're both making a generous amount of money? So some things need to come up and to be addressed here, okay? There's also some type of an imbalance in the relationship as well. I feel like one person might be working in the, public environment. The other person might be working from home. And there's a thing here about somebody's contributions being undervalued. Okay, so your 10th house deals with higher education, and it also deals with travel. So in terms of higher education, what we have here is this is an offer. This is an offer for like getting accepted into a school, into a university, into a graduate program, master's program, into a vocational school. And I feel like the school that you want is the school that you're going to get into, okay? And I know usually in the States, I believe acceptance letters start coming out in March and April, and we're in February, so it might be just early, or you might be in outside of the States. But what I'm sensing is your first choice, your first or second choice actually, if you apply for 5 schools, I feel like this is a very, very emotionally fulfilling offer. So they're coming through from usually the first, second choices, top choices. So I feel like you're getting some acceptance letter as it relates to, allowing you to go to pursue higher education. When it comes to travel as well, there's opportunities being brought into you for you from a water sign, a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. They might be living at a distance from you, or you might be close in proximity and they're thinking about taking a trip together with you. So I feel like this is a very good card. Overall, it indicates that, two people seeing eye to eye, an offer that is coming through that is very emotionally fulfilling. So you have some really good things lit up in your house of higher education and travel. In your 10th house, the 10th house deals with the father, and the 10th house also deals with your career. So let me talk about your father first. The father shows up usually with the King of Wands. And the King of Wands showing up in the reverse position is this is a man, I feel like for whatever reason, he feels almost inadequate. He might have dealt with some anger issues in the past. He might have also, he's trying to find his footing. He's been through a lot in life, and he's trying to find his footing. And I feel like financially for this month, your father might be the one that needs financial assistance, okay? Helping your father, reaching out to your father to see if financially he's okay. I feel like that's going to be quite important, okay? Because I feel like there might be some financial shortage within the household as it relates to your father. And I'm also sensing as well, for those of you who have a very, very, very good relationship with your father is somebody that is very handy. He likes to tinker with things. He has like a very curious mind, almost like a scientist or an engineer or like an inventor. And I feel like he loves working with his hands. He loves fixing things. He loves taking things apart and putting them back together. And I also feel he's like a perpetual student. And so I feel like you're getting a lot of motivation from your father to do well in school, to pursue higher education. You might also get a lot of financial assistance from your father as well, in order to make, to realize to realize the dreams of higher education is what I'm sensing. In terms of your career track with this card, it basically means for you to keep at it and keep steady. So this is a card where we are starting out, we're at the bottom of that totem pole, but we can work our way up. And I feel some of you are doing a job where you feel like, I deserve to get paid more. When am I going to get paid more? And I feel like you might have already chosen a career that you absolutely love. It feels to me like it might be a technical career, like accounting, computer programming. I'm sensing technicians. I'm feeling as well like even teachers, and I'm sensing scientists. So I feel like a lot of you are in the technical field. Now, Libras, you are the least scattered of all the air signs. Your mental agility is very swift and quick. And you retain information a lot better than the other signs. Geminis and Aquarius, they're gifted in a way where they can draw insights, information out of the blue, like out of thin air. But I feel for you, your mind is very systematic because you're so close to that Virgoan energy. Your mind is very systematic. It retains information, and it's very systematic in the way that it stores, compartmentalizes, and processes information. So I feel like any technical field would be really good for you. But I'm seeing a lot of scientists, a lot of technicians, a lot of math people, math science based people. And I feel like these are career tracks that will be very, very good for you. But when it comes to, the career tracks that are heavily dependent on technology, math, and science, some of you might think that, like, okay, getting a bachelor's degree alone is not going to be able to max out my income earning capabilities. So I have to go back to school. And then some of you might think that, like, okay, getting a high school diploma, a GED, is not going to allow me to rise up and, in the career track. So you feel like you need more education, more schooling in order to learn more in depth about that technical field, and so that you can increase your earnings. So I feel like you're making some major investments in your education so that you can move far ahead, okay? So it looks very good. Your 11th house deal with friends and group associations, and we have the Empress here. You have some beautiful friends, Virgo, for your friends. You have like a very, very beautiful person, and they're saying like they're physically very, very beautiful person in your midst that you have. I'm sensing like that you are really digging, that you're really swept off your feet about. And I feel almost like the person is very well dressed. They come from a very good family. They're well behaved. They have really pretty manners. They're very well dressed. They look really clean, very kempt, and they speak very properly. And I'm sensing that some of you might be intimidated. Some of you might feel like, oh, that person is too rich for me. That person is too proper for me. That person is too perfect for me. So I feel like you're kind of like in a situation where you feel a little bit kind of like starstruck. You feel a little bit intimidated, okay? First of all, let me see. In terms of your group associations, they're telling you to cultivate. So group associations basically means the groups and the social circle that we identify with. Some of you might be in a book club. Some of you might be in a chess club. Some of you might have membership to, the art museum, for example, to the zoo. And so they're telling you that, try to really expand outwards this month. Try to get involved in your local community, events, seminars, talks, gatherings in your social community, because I feel like through that venue, you're going to be able to, through that avenue, you're going to be able to meet a lot of people. And you're also going to be very well received. So you make really good impression, Libras. So you want to project your energy out there if you want to attract good people and good things, okay? You have a lot of abundance. You have a lot of support in your environment right now. This is the card that kind of worries me a little bit. So the 12th house deals with secrets. And it deals with things like institutions as well. And a lot of the times, it's the house of karma. This is your card. You're shown up here as the King of Swords in the reverse position. I feel like in the past, some of you might have, this is a card about deception. It's almost like you might have misrepresented something. You might have like not revealed the whole truth about something, or you are keeping some information back, okay? And I'm sensing that some of you, not everybody, okay, just some people, I feel like you have a friend that you have a crush on, for example, that you are trying to have a relationship with. And I feel like you still have another relationship that's running concurrently. So you have two things running at the same time. And I feel like for others of you, I'm almost sensing as if you're holding a lot of information in, and it's almost like it feels to me as if, there needs to be some important lessons learned, but you're sweeping these insights, these snippets of wisdom under the rug because you feel like you're not ready. Okay, so like I said, there's a very strong karmic energy coming through for this month. There's a major growth spurt in your life that needs to happen, but I feel like you're not taking the initiative, or you're not ready just yet, and you're trying to buy time. That's what it feels like to me. So I'm going to go into your love reading right now, Libras. I'm hoping to come back in the mid-month reading and try to flush out some of this energies for you because it feels a little bit heavy, okay? It feels really buoyant and good on the emotional front, but I feel like the underlying current is a little bit heavy. So it's almost like, the veneer versus what's really going on. That's what it feels like to me. The face that you show to the world versus what's really going on behind the scenes, okay? I'm going to use that card because it represents your 7th house, which deals with partnerships. And I'm going to see what's coming through for you guys. I feel like you're chasing after somebody and you're trying to make amends. And if you're not the one doing that, I feel somebody's chasing after you and they're trying to make amends with you. They're trying to get you back, or you're trying to get them back. So there's an element here of one person walking out, and then the other person is trying to win them back, okay? So that's what I'm getting from that card. I'm also seeing financial issues affecting your relationship. You both might be in a financially tight space. And so you're not able to, go on date nights, take trips together, do these extravagant things together. And so I feel like it's hurting the romance in the relationship. And they're telling you as well, there are free things that we can do with on dates. Going for a walk, going to the library, renting movies from the library to watch at home. There are, cheap and free things that you can do with a significant partner, but I feel almost like one person might be a little bit more, I want to say like on they might be a little bit more extravagant. And so if you suggest these things, you feel like they might look down upon you. And likewise, you might be the one that's extravagant. And so if they suggest these things, they're fearful that you might look down upon them. But either way, finances from one partner or both partners is interfering in your love relationship. It's interfering. And so you want to nip it in the bud and, take care of it, all right? Because if you really care about another person, you want to try, exhaust all possibilities to be with them, okay? And I feel like you have to take the initiative here. Yeah, I'm sensing this overwhelming sense of like, I feel one person might be very, very caught up with financial worries, and then the other person is not aware, and they're quite extravagant when it comes to spending. I'm feeling a lot of Scorpio energy in this spread. Scorpio, Capricorn as well. Okay, so let me just see some of the things that you're dealing with. Let me talk about this person from the past. So I feel like some of you are still with this person. For others of you, this is a person from the past. You have a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. And I feel like this is a person that might have been They seem to me a little bit more emotionally immature. It's almost as if like they feel one way, but they have trouble expressing it in a healthy way. They might not communicate on an emotional level in the manner that you'd hope. Or I feel like they might at their worst, they might throw tantrums. They might be prone to like feeling, attention seeking. They might not feel validated. They might not feel appreciated. And so there's an exchange of communication that needs to happen between you and this person. So Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And if this is a relationship partner that you're dealing with, I do feel that they are emotionally underdeveloped somehow. And I do sense that the way that you are approaching one another, communicating with one another, is not conducive for mutual understanding, mutual agreement. So there needs to be kind of like I almost sense like there needs to be a loving detachment from your end, so that this person can I'm sensing like so that they don't feel judged, so that they don't feel as if you're criticizing them. So detach a little bit. Let them say whatever is on their mind, and then you can help them formulate their thoughts. You can help them form their train of thoughts, and you can help them communicate better. So I feel like don't give them too much judgment when they communicate. Don't ask them too many questions. Let them get the story out, and then you go from there. And then you put the pieces back together, or you form the pieces of the puzzle. So I feel like there's a person here that wants to communicate with you, and the way that they've been doing it in the past is not very effective. And I do sense that you want to cut them some slack. Okay. What I have as well is the Page of Wands. So you have a water sign as well as a fire sign. So the Page of Wands is a fire sign, Sagittarius, Aries, or a Leo. And this is a person who is a little bit more honest and directed with their communication. For some of you, it might be the same person. And I'm sensing as well that you're getting some communication from the past, and I feel that some of you are going back to the past. Okay, there might be some communication, and as well, you have a person that you have children with from the past, and you're hearing some news about the children, and I feel that you're going to have what's coming through in your foundation here. We have the Death card. This is basically going back to a previous situation in order to rectify and fix a relationship. So this is a very, very good thing overall. I do sense that many of you were in a situation where there might have been financial considerations affecting the relationship. There might have also been like a breakdown within the communication, within the family unit, where assets are being divided, children are being, split between two homes. And it's not over just yet, and you're still dealing with the residual energy and the aftermath, and you're still going to be heavily linked up with the other person. But I feel like the other person is reaching out because they want a truce. They want a peace treaty. They're reaching out to negotiate, and they're not reaching out with malice, but I feel like you might be a little bit on the defense because you are familiar, with how this person behaves, and you might think that like, oh, the way that they communicate indicates like they might be hiding some information. So I feel like there's a lot of renegotiations, there's a lot of going back to the past in order to fix things, in order to understand and fix things, okay? Which is good because going back to fix things basically means that you are operating from a space of wanting to understand and wanting to problem solve. Crowning this reading is something that you're thinking about. We have here the Devil as well as the Ace of Swords. The Devil indicates temptation. I feel like for some of you, there's kind of like attraction. You're scoping out, greener pastures elsewhere. You might be attracted to somebody outside of the relationship for those who are in a relationship. And so you're scoping out new territory. Somebody is really catching your eyes. And I feel like you are very physically attracted to this person. And that could be for people who are single too, but I'm not sensing that so much, okay? Not with the Devil, which basically means you have one lingering relationship that it might not be completely healthy. It might not be very good for you, but instead of leaving it, you might be scoping out new territory. You might be scoping out new people, new partners. Some of you might be on the residual, like on the tail end of a separation or a divorce, and you're scoping out new territory, and that's fine. But others of you, I feel like there's an energy where you're in a relationship that feels almost as if there is financial lack, and you almost feel as if the one partner is dependent on the other, and the partner that is dealing with a lot of responsibility is a little bit stressed out, and so they're finding solace and they're finding a little bit of temptation outside of the relationship. Okay. Which brings us into the future position. We have here the Sun as well as the Five of Coins. So you have somebody in your environment. So you're dealing with some stress this month, Libras. And I feel like you were in a space where I feel like you have had to leave a relationship partner behind because emotionally they were just not very they might not have made practical decisions when it came to finances. They might have been a little bit irresponsible or lax when it came to parenting, when it came to child rearing. And I feel like you're moving on from that and you're trying to, rebuild your life. There might have been some financial hardships in your own life, but you're going to be able to achieve success, okay? And then for others of you, you left one relationship and I feel like it really did a number on your self-esteem. It really did hurt you. Moving away from a heartache is never an easy process, and sometimes it takes a long time. But I feel that you have another person in your environment that is coaxing you out of your lair, coaxing you out of your cave, and they are promising a lot of love and abundance. For some of you, this might be an air sign, another air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. And then for others, and I say air sign because of this card here. And then for others, it might be a fire sign, a Sagittarius, an Aries, or a Leo. And this is somebody that you are kind of like, you're spurning their advances. You really like them on the one hand, but I feel like you're afraid of getting hurt. So single Librans, I feel that it would be in your best interest to try to, give new people an opportunity. Don't project the worst onto them, and especially give people a chance, okay? You have a very, very good, loving energy here, and I feel like this is not the person that's going to be hurting you. They are kind of like coaxing you. They have a way out. They're showing you, they're painting a very, very nice, clear, and practical picture, and they want you to share that with them, okay? Share that future with them. So you have some very good things that are coming in. I forgot to talk about, the center of the spread. We have here, this is your energy with the Page of Swords. This is you wanting to return back to the past, blocking out the future. So you might have that, phone call from an ex telling you that they miss them, telling you that they want to reconcile, telling you that they want to start over. And you might have just started dating somebody new, and I feel like you might re-engage with the person from the past and lose an opportunity with the person from the future who really wants to build a future with you. So just be careful about that. And I also have here the Three of Wands. This is a situation where some of you are dealing with waiting on communication from a past lover. And I feel like it's coming through with a little bit of disappointment. It's almost as if you're putting your life totally on hold, not going out, not meeting new people, not giving new people a chance, because you're waiting on communication from somebody from the past, okay? So a little bit of a mixed bag here. I hope the reading has been helpful overall, though. Libras, sorry for the delay with this reading. It's the last reading of the night, so I'm a little bit scattered and sleepy, so I apologize. I wish you the best, okay, Libras? If you'd like to book a private reading with me, the information is in the description box below. You can click on my website, and from the website you can click on the link to book an appointment so that you can view my availability and so forth. If you'd like to donate to the channel as well, I would be greatly appreciative. The link as well is in the description box below. I wish you the best. Take care of yourself. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.